Overthinking in social situations is a common experience that many people face. It often manifests as a relentless cycle of self-doubt, second-guessing, and excessive analysis of one's actions and words. This mental habit can be particularly debilitating, leading to increased anxiety, stress, and a diminished sense of self-worth. The mind becomes a battleground where every social interaction is scrutinized, and every possible outcome is considered, often leading to feelings of inadequacy and fear of judgment. This constant mental chatter not only affects our emotional well-being, but also hampers our ability to connect authentically with others. In the context of Buddhism, overthinking is seen as a form of mental proliferation that distracts us from the present moment and prevents us from experiencing true peace and clarity. By understanding the nature of overthinking and applying Buddhist principles, we can learn to quiet the mind, reduce anxiety, and engage more fully in our social interactions. Overthinking is a mental habit that involves excessive rumination and worry about past events, future possibilities, or hypothetical scenarios. It often manifests as a relentless stream of thoughts that can be difficult to control, leading to feelings of anxiety, stress, and even paralysis in decision-making. In social situations, overthinking can cause individuals to second-guess their words and actions, replay conversations in their minds, and anticipate negative judgments from others. This mental pattern not only drains emotional energy, but also hinders genuine connections and spontaneous interactions. The nature of overthinking is rooted in the mind's tendency to seek certainty and control. When faced with uncertainty or potential social rejection, the mind attempts to predict outcomes and prepare for every possible scenario. This can create a false sense of security, but often leads to more anxiety as the mind becomes entangled in an endless loop of what-if questions. Overthinking is also fueled by self-doubt and a lack of confidence, where individuals may feel inadequate or fear that they will not be accepted by others. From a psychological perspective, overthinking can be seen as a coping mechanism that the mind employs to deal with perceived threats. However, this mechanism is counterproductive because it amplifies fears rather than alleviating them. The more one engages in overthinking, the more entrenched these thought patterns become, making it increasingly difficult to break free from them. Understanding the nature of overthinking is the first step towards addressing it. Recognizing that these thought patterns are habitual and not necessarily reflective of reality can help individuals begin to detach from them. By observing how overthinking operates and acknowledging its impact on their well-being, individuals can start to cultivate a more balanced and mindful approach to their thoughts and social interactions. In Buddhism, thoughts are seen as transient and impermanent phenomena that arise and pass away in the mind. They are not inherently good or bad, but their impact on our well-being depends on how we relate to them. The Buddhist perspective emphasizes that thoughts do not define us. Rather, they are simply mental events that can be observed without attachment or aversion. This understanding is crucial in addressing overthinking, especially in social situations where the mind tends to create narratives that may not align with reality. Mindfulness, or sati in Pali, is a fundamental practice in Buddhism that involves paying attention to the present moment with a non-judgmental awareness. By cultivating mindfulness, one learns to observe thoughts as they arise without getting entangled in them. This practice helps to create a mental space where one can see thoughts clearly and understand their transient nature. Instead of reacting impulsively or getting caught up in a cycle of overthinking, mindfulness allows for a more balanced and composed response. The practice of mindfulness encourages individuals to become aware of their thought patterns and recognize when they are engaging in overthinking. By bringing attention to the present moment, one can interrupt the habitual cycle of rumination and redirect focus to what is actually happening here and now. This shift in perspective can significantly reduce the anxiety and stress associated with social interactions. Moreover, mindfulness helps in developing a deeper understanding of the mind's tendencies. It reveals how certain thoughts trigger emotional responses and how these emotions influence behavior. With this insight, one can begin to disentangle from unhelpful thought patterns and cultivate a more peaceful and centered state of mind. Over time, mindfulness practice can lead to greater mental clarity and emotional resilience, making it easier to navigate social situations with ease and confidence. In essence, the Buddhist perspective on thoughts and mindfulness offers a powerful approach to overcoming overthinking. By recognizing the impermanent nature of thoughts and practicing mindful awareness, individuals can transform their relationship with their own minds. This transformation not only alleviates the burden of overthinking, but also fosters a sense of inner peace and well-being that enhances all aspects of life, including social interactions. In the context of overthinking, particularly in social situations, the concepts of attachment and aversion play significant roles. According to Buddhist teachings, attachment refers to the clinging or craving for certain outcomes, experiences, or validations. When we are overly attached to how others perceive us or to the desire for social approval, our minds become preoccupied with thoughts about how to achieve these ends. This attachment can lead to a cycle of overthinking as we constantly analyze our actions, words, and even our appearance in an attempt to secure positive feedback from others. On the other hand, aversion is the strong dislike or avoidance of certain experiences or outcomes. In social contexts, this might manifest as a fear of rejection, criticism, or embarrassment. When we are averse to these negative experiences, we may find ourselves overthinking in an effort to avoid them. This could involve replaying past interactions in our minds, worrying about future conversations, or second-guessing our behavior in real time. The aversion creates a mental environment where we are constantly on guard, trying to navigate social situations without encountering the discomfort we dread. Both attachment and aversion are rooted in a misunderstanding of the nature of reality and self. Buddhism teaches that clinging to transient states and fearing impermanent conditions only leads to suffering. Overthinking is a form of this suffering, as it traps us in a loop of mental activity that prevents us from experiencing the present moment fully and authentically. By recognizing the roles of attachment and aversion in our thought patterns, we can begin to address the root causes of our overthinking. The practice of mindfulness can help us observe these tendencies without getting caught up in them. By becoming aware of when we are clinging to positive outcomes or avoiding negative ones, we can start to let go of these attachments and aversions. This doesn't mean that we stop caring about social interactions altogether. Rather, it means that we approach them with a balanced mind that is not swayed by excessive desire or fear. In doing so, we can reduce the mental clutter that leads to overthinking and cultivate a more peaceful and centered way of engaging with others. Practicing mindfulness to observe thoughts is a fundamental aspect of Buddhist practice that can significantly help in reducing overthinking in social situations. Mindfulness, or sati in Pali, involves paying close attention to the present moment with a non-judgmental awareness. This practice allows individuals to become more aware of their thoughts and emotions as they arise, without becoming entangled in them. By observing thoughts mindfully, one can begin to see them for what they are, transient mental events that do not necessarily reflect reality. When practicing mindfulness, it is essential to create a conducive environment where one can sit quietly and focus on the breath. The breath serves as an anchor to the present moment, helping to ground the mind whenever it starts to wander. As thoughts about past social interactions or future social events arise, the practice involves gently acknowledging these thoughts without judgment and then returning attention to the breath. This simple yet profound exercise helps cultivate a sense of detachment from the incessant stream of thoughts. Over time, mindfulness practice reveals patterns in thinking, particularly those related to social anxiety and overthinking. One may notice recurring themes such as fear of judgment, self-doubt, or the need for approval. By observing these patterns without getting caught up in them, individuals can begin to understand the underlying causes of their overthinking. This awareness is the first step towards transforming these habitual thought patterns. Moreover, mindfulness encourages a compassionate attitude towards oneself. Instead of criticizing oneself for having anxious thoughts, one learns to treat these thoughts with kindness and understanding. This shift in perspective reduces the intensity of negative emotions associated with overthinking and fosters a more balanced mental state. Incorporating mindfulness into daily life can be done through formal meditation practices, as well as informal moments of awareness throughout the day. For instance, during a conversation, one can practice mindful listening by fully focusing on the speaker without planning a response or judging what is being said. This not only improves communication, but also reduces the tendency to overthink social interactions. Ultimately, practicing mindfulness to observe thoughts empowers individuals to break free from the cycle of overthinking. It provides a practical tool for managing social anxiety and cultivating a peaceful mind. Through consistent practice, one can develop greater clarity and equanimity, leading to more authentic and fulfilling social interactions. Letting go of negative thought patterns is a crucial step in overcoming the habit of overthinking social situations. In Buddhism, several techniques can help individuals release these detrimental mental habits and cultivate a more peaceful mind. One effective method is the practice of mindfulness, which involves observing thoughts without attachment or judgment. By becoming aware of negative thoughts as they arise, you can recognize them for what they are, temporary and insubstantial phenomena, rather than allowing them to dominate your mental landscape. Another technique is the use of meditation to create mental space and clarity. Meditation practices such as anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, or vipassana, insight meditation, can help you develop a deeper awareness of your thought processes. Through regular meditation, you learn to observe thoughts as they come and go, reducing their power over you. This practice helps in breaking the cycle of rumination and allows for a more balanced perspective on social interactions. Cognitive reframing is also an important tool in letting go of negative thought patterns. This involves consciously changing the way you interpret social situations. Instead of viewing a social mishap as a catastrophic failure, you can reframe it as a learning experience or an opportunity for growth. By shifting your perspective, you reduce the emotional charge associated with negative thoughts and make it easier to let them go. Loving kindness meditation, metta bhavana, is another powerful technique that can counteract negative thinking. This practice involves generating feelings of compassion and love towards yourself and others. By regularly engaging in loving-kindness meditation, you cultivate a positive mental state that naturally displaces negativity. This shift in focus from self-criticism to self-compassion can significantly reduce the tendency to overthink social situations. Additionally, practicing non-attachment is essential for letting go of negative thought patterns. In Buddhism, non-attachment means not clinging to thoughts, emotions, or outcomes. By embracing impermanence and recognizing that all experiences are transient, you can reduce the grip that negative thoughts have on your mind. This practice encourages a more fluid and adaptable approach to life, where thoughts are seen as passing clouds rather than fixed realities. Lastly, engaging in mindful activities such as yoga, tai chi, or even mindful walking can help ground you in the present moment and divert attention away from negative thinking. These activities promote a sense of calm and well-being, making it easier to let go of unhelpful mental patterns. By incorporating these Buddhist techniques into your daily life, you can gradually release the habit of overthinking social situations and cultivate a more serene and balanced mind. Compassion and self-compassion are fundamental principles in Buddhism that play a crucial role in addressing the habit of overthinking, especially in social situations. Compassion involves recognizing the suffering of others and having a genuine desire to alleviate it. This outward focus can help shift attention away from our own anxieties and overthinking patterns. When we cultivate compassion, we become more attuned to the needs and feelings of those around us, which can reduce the intensity of our self-centered worries and fears. Self-compassion, on the other hand, is about extending the same kindness and understanding to ourselves that we would offer to a friend in distress. It involves acknowledging our own suffering without judgment and responding with warmth and care. This practice is particularly important for those who struggle with overthinking because it helps break the cycle of self-criticism and negative self-talk that often accompanies anxious thoughts. By treating ourselves with compassion, we create a mental space where it is safe to experience our emotions without being overwhelmed by them. In Buddhism, Self-compassion is not seen as indulgent or selfish, but as a necessary foundation for genuine compassion towards others. When we are kind to ourselves, we build inner resilience and emotional stability, which enables us to be more present and supportive in our interactions with others. This balanced approach helps us navigate social situations with greater ease and confidence. Moreover, practicing compassion and self-compassion aligns with the Buddhist principle of non-attachment. By letting go of the need for approval or fear of rejection, we can approach social interactions with a sense of equanimity. This detachment from outcomes allows us to engage more authentically with others, free from the paralyzing effects of overthinking. Incorporating compassion and self-compassion into daily life can be transformative. Simple practices such as loving-kindness meditation, metta bhavana, can help cultivate these qualities. In this meditation, one begins by directing loving-kindness towards oneself, then gradually extends it to loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and even those with whom one has conflicts. This practice not only fosters a sense of interconnectedness, but also diminishes the intensity of self-focused anxieties. Ultimately, compassion and self-compassion are powerful tools for overcoming the habit of overthinking in social situations. They help us develop a kinder relationship with ourselves and others, reduce the grip of negative thought patterns, and foster a more balanced and peaceful mind. By embracing these principles, we can navigate social interactions with greater ease and authenticity, leading to more fulfilling and harmonious relationships. The Four Noble Truths, foundational teachings in Buddhism, offer profound insights into understanding and addressing social anxiety. The first noble truth acknowledges the presence of suffering, dukkha, in life. Social anxiety is a form of this suffering, manifesting as distress and discomfort in social situations. Recognizing that social anxiety is a part of the broader human experience of suffering can be the first step toward addressing it. This acknowledgement helps us see that we are not alone in our struggles and that suffering is a common thread that connects all beings. The second noble truth identifies the cause of suffering as attachment and craving, tanha. In the context of social anxiety, this craving often manifests as a desire for approval, acceptance, and validation from others. We become attached to the idea of being perceived in a certain way, fearing rejection or judgment. This attachment fuels our overthinking and anxiety, as we constantly worry about how others view us. By understanding this root cause, we can begin to see how our own desires and attachments contribute to our social anxiety. The third noble truth offers hope by stating that there is an end to suffering. In terms of social anxiety, this means that it is possible to overcome the distress and discomfort associated with social interactions. By letting go of our attachments and cravings for external validation, we can find inner peace and freedom from anxiety. This does not mean that we will never feel anxious again, but rather that we can learn to manage our anxiety in a way that it no longer controls us. The fourth noble truth provides a practical path to end suffering through the Eightfold Path. This path includes practices such as right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Applying these principles to social anxiety involves cultivating mindfulness to observe our thoughts without judgment, practicing right speech by communicating honestly and kindly, and developing right intention by fostering compassion for ourselves and others. Through consistent practice of the Eightfold Path, we can gradually reduce our social anxiety and cultivate a more balanced and peaceful mind. By applying the Four Noble Truths to social anxiety, we gain a deeper understanding of its nature and causes, as well as practical tools for overcoming it. This Buddhist framework encourages us to look inward, recognize our attachments, and cultivate mindfulness and compassion. In doing so, we can transform our relationship with social anxiety and move towards greater equanimity and ease in our interactions with others. The Eightfold Path, a core teaching in Buddhism, offers a comprehensive guide to achieving balanced thinking and overcoming the habit of overthinking in social situations. This path is divided into 8 interconnected practices: right understanding, right intent, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Each of these elements contributes to cultivating a mind that is clear, focused, and free from the turmoil of excessive rumination. Right understanding involves seeing things as they truly are, recognizing the impermanent and interconnected nature of all phenomena. By understanding that thoughts and emotions are transient, we can begin to detach from the incessant stream of worries that often accompany social interactions. This insight helps us realize that our fears and anxieties are not fixed realities but passing mental states. Right intent focuses on cultivating wholesome intentions and attitudes. When we approach social situations with kindness, compassion, and a genuine desire for connection, rather than judgment or self-criticism, we create a mental environment less conducive to overthinking. This shift in intent can transform our interactions from sources of stress to opportunities for meaningful engagement. Right speech encourages us to communicate truthfully and kindly. By practicing mindful speech, we become more aware of the impact our words have on others and ourselves. This awareness helps us avoid the pitfalls of gossip, harsh criticism, or unnecessary chatter that can fuel overthinking. Instead, we learn to speak with clarity and purpose. Right action involves behaving ethically and responsibly in our interactions. When our actions align with our values and principles, we reduce the cognitive dissonance that often leads to overthinking. Acting with integrity fosters a sense of inner peace and confidence, allowing us to navigate social situations with greater ease. Right livelihood emphasizes choosing a profession or way of life that does not cause harm to others. Engaging in work that aligns with our ethical beliefs reduces internal conflict and promotes mental well-being. When our livelihood supports our values, we are less likely to be consumed by worries about our social standing or the opinions of others. Right effort entails making a conscious effort to cultivate positive mental states while abandoning negative ones. This involves being vigilant about the thoughts we entertain and actively redirecting our focus towards constructive thinking patterns. By consistently practicing right effort, we weaken the habitual tendencies that lead to overthinking. Right mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in each moment. Through mindfulness, we develop an acute awareness of our thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them. This heightened awareness allows us to observe our overthinking tendencies objectively and choose not to engage with them. Right concentration involves developing deep mental focus through meditation practices. Concentration helps stabilize the mind, making it less susceptible to the fluctuations of overthinking. With a concentrated mind, we can maintain equanimity even in challenging social situations. By integrating these 8 aspects into our daily lives, we create a holistic approach to balanced thinking. The Eightfold Path not only addresses the symptoms of overthinking, but also tackles its root causes by fostering wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. As we progress along this path, we cultivate a mind that is resilient, compassionate, and capable of navigating social interactions with grace and ease. Meditation is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice and offers profound benefits for calming the mind, particularly when dealing with overthinking in social situations. One of the most effective meditation practices for this purpose is mindfulness meditation, also known as vipassana. This practice involves sitting quietly and focusing on the breath, observing each inhalation and exhalation without judgment. As thoughts arise, the practitioner acknowledges them and gently returns focus to the breath. This simple yet powerful technique helps to cultivate a state of present moment awareness, reducing the tendency to get lost in spirals of overthinking. Another beneficial practice is loving kindness meditation, or metta bhavana. This involves generating feelings of compassion and love towards oneself and others. By repeating phrases such as, "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," "May I be safe," and extending these wishes to others, one can foster a sense of connection and reduce social anxiety. This practice not only calms the mind, but also transforms negative thought patterns into positive ones, making social interactions less daunting. Guided meditations can also be particularly helpful for those new to the practice or struggling with persistent overthinking. These meditations often include instructions that help guide the practitioner through various stages of relaxation and focus. Listening to a calm voice can provide structure and support, making it easier to let go of intrusive thoughts. Body scan meditation is another technique that can help calm an overactive mind. This involves mentally scanning the body from head to toe, paying attention to any areas of tension or discomfort. By bringing awareness to physical sensations, one can anchor themselves in the present moment and divert attention away from anxious thoughts about social situations. For those who find sitting meditation challenging, walking meditation offers an alternative way to cultivate mindfulness. This practice involves walking slowly and deliberately, paying close attention to each step and the sensations in the feet and legs. Walking meditation can be particularly grounding and is a useful tool for calming the mind before or after social interactions. Incorporating these meditation practices into daily life can significantly reduce overthinking and promote a sense of inner peace. Consistency is key. Even a few minutes of meditation each day can lead to noticeable improvements in mental clarity and emotional stability. Over time, these practices help build resilience against the habitual patterns of overthinking that often accompany social anxiety. By dedicating time to meditation, individuals can develop a deeper understanding of their thought processes and learn to navigate social situations with greater ease and confidence. The calmness cultivated through regular meditation practice extends beyond formal sessions, gradually permeating all aspects of life, including interactions with others. Incorporating Buddhist principles into daily life can significantly alleviate the burden of overthinking in social situations. One practical example is the application of mindfulness during conversations. Imagine attending a social gathering where you feel anxious about how others perceive you. Instead of letting your mind spiral into a series of what-if scenarios, focus on being fully present. Pay attention to the person speaking, listen actively, and observe your own reactions without judgment. This practice not only helps in reducing anxiety, but also enhances the quality of your interactions. Another real-life application is using the concept of impermanence to manage social fears. Suppose you are worried about making a mistake during a presentation at work. By reminding yourself that all experiences, including this presentation, are transient, you can reduce the pressure you place on yourself. This understanding can help you approach the situation with a sense of calm and acceptance, knowing that any discomfort will pass. The practice of self-compassion is also crucial in dealing with social overthinking. For instance, after an awkward encounter, instead of berating yourself for what you perceive as a social faux pas, treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. Acknowledge that everyone makes mistakes and that these moments are opportunities for growth rather than reasons for self-criticism. Additionally, applying the principle of non-attachment can be transformative. In a scenario where you are seeking approval from others, recognize that clinging to others' opinions for your self-worth leads to suffering. By practicing non-attachment, you learn to value your own intrinsic worth rather than relying on external validation. This shift in perspective can liberate you from the constant need to overthink every social interaction. Meditation practices such as loving-kindness metta meditation can also be beneficial. Before entering a potentially stressful social situation, spend a few minutes sending thoughts of goodwill to yourself and others involved. This practice can create a sense of inner peace and reduce the tendency to overanalyze interactions. Lastly, consider the role of right speech and right action from the Eightfold Path in your daily interactions. By committing to speak truthfully and act ethically, you build confidence in your social engagements. Knowing that your words and actions align with your values reduces the mental clutter associated with second-guessing yourself. These real-life applications demonstrate how Buddhist teachings can be integrated into everyday situations to mitigate overthinking and promote a more balanced and peaceful approach to social interactions. Building confidence in social situations can be significantly enhanced through the practice of right speech and right action, two essential components of the Noble Eightfold Path in Buddhism. Right speech involves speaking truthfully, harmoniously, and kindly, while avoiding falsehoods, divisive speech, harsh words, and idle chatter. By adhering to these principles, individuals can foster trust and respect in their interactions with others. When we commit to speaking truthfully, we eliminate the fear of being caught in a lie or misrepresentation, which naturally boosts our confidence. Harmonious speech helps to create a positive environment where open and honest communication can flourish, reducing anxiety about potential conflicts or misunderstandings. Right action complements right speech by encouraging ethical conduct that is considerate of others' well-being. This includes abstaining from harmful behaviors such as stealing, killing, and engaging in sexual misconduct. When our actions are aligned with ethical principles, we cultivate a sense of integrity and self-respect. This alignment between our values and behaviors reinforces our self-esteem and provides a solid foundation for interacting with others confidently. Knowing that our actions are guided by compassion and mindfulness allows us to approach social situations with a clear conscience and a calm mind. Moreover, practicing right speech and right action helps to break the cycle of overthinking by shifting our focus from self-centered concerns to the well-being of others. When we are genuinely interested in contributing positively to our social interactions, we become less preoccupied with how we are perceived and more engaged in meaningful connections. This outward focus not only alleviates social anxiety, but also fosters deeper relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Incorporating these practices into daily life requires mindfulness and intention. Before speaking or acting, taking a moment to reflect on whether our words and deeds align with the principles of right speech and right action can help us make more conscious choices. Over time, this mindful approach becomes second nature, leading to more authentic and confident interactions. Ultimately, building confidence through right speech and right action is about creating harmony within ourselves and with those around us. By committing to ethical communication and behavior, we develop a sense of inner peace that radiates outward, making social situations less daunting and more fulfilling. This holistic approach not only enhances our personal well-being, but also contributes to a more compassionate and connected world. Cultivating equanimity in social interactions is a profound practice that can significantly alleviate the habit of overthinking. Equanimity, or upekkha in Pali, is one of the four sublime states, Brahma Viharas, in Buddhism, and represents a balanced state of mind, free from excessive attachment or aversion. In social situations, equanimity allows us to remain calm and composed, regardless of external circumstances or the behavior of others. To develop equanimity, it is essential to understand that all experiences are transient and subject to change. This insight helps us to detach from the outcomes of our interactions and reduces the emotional turbulence that often accompanies social anxiety. By recognizing the impermanent nature of praise and criticism, acceptance and rejection, we can maintain a steady mind that is not easily swayed by external validation or disapproval. Practicing mindfulness is a key component in cultivating equanimity. By being fully present in each moment, we can observe our thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them. This mindful awareness allows us to respond to social situations with clarity and wisdom, rather than reacting impulsively based on fear or desire. When we notice ourselves becoming anxious or overthinking, we can gently bring our attention back to the present moment, grounding ourselves in the reality of now. Another important aspect of equanimity is developing an attitude of non-judgment towards ourselves and others. This means accepting people as they are, without imposing our expectations or biases on them. When we let go of the need to control how others perceive us or how they should behave, we create space for genuine connection and understanding. This acceptance fosters a sense of inner peace and reduces the mental chatter that often accompanies social interactions. Equanimity also involves cultivating compassion and loving kindness towards all beings, including ourselves. By extending goodwill and understanding to others, we can soften the harsh judgments that fuel overthinking. When we approach social interactions with an open heart and a compassionate mindset, we are less likely to be consumed by self-doubt or worry about how we are perceived. In practical terms, cultivating equanimity can be supported by regular meditation practices such as loving kindness, metta meditation, and mindfulness meditation. These practices help to train the mind in maintaining balance and equanimity amidst the ups and downs of social life. Additionally, reflecting on the interconnectedness of all beings can deepen our sense of empathy and reduce feelings of isolation or inadequacy. Ultimately, cultivating equanimity in social interactions is an ongoing practice that requires patience and dedication. It involves continually returning to a place of balance and inner peace, even when faced with challenging situations or difficult emotions. By integrating these principles into our daily lives, we can transform our relationship with social interactions, moving from a place of overthinking and anxiety to one of calm presence and genuine connection. In conclusion, the journey to overcoming the habit of overthinking in social situations is a gradual and deeply personal one. By integrating Buddhist principles and practices into your daily life, you can cultivate a more balanced and peaceful mind. The teachings of mindfulness, compassion, and the Eightfold Path offer practical tools to help you observe your thoughts without attachment or aversion, allowing you to respond to social interactions with greater clarity and calmness. Remember that progress may be slow and sometimes challenging, but each step forward is a meaningful achievement. Practicing mindfulness and meditation regularly can help you develop a deeper awareness of your thought patterns and provide the space needed to let go of negative thinking. Embracing self-compassion is crucial. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate this path, understanding that everyone experiences moments of doubt and anxiety. Applying the Four Noble Truths to your experience of social anxiety can transform your perspective, helping you recognize that suffering is a part of life, but also that there is a way to alleviate it. The Eightfold Path serves as a comprehensive guide to cultivating right thinking, speech, and action, which are essential for building confidence and equanimity in social interactions. As you continue this practice, you'll likely find that your relationships with others become more authentic and fulfilling. The principles of right speech and right action encourage honest and compassionate communication, fostering deeper connections with those around you. By maintaining equanimity, you can approach social situations with a sense of inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. Ultimately, the goal is not to eliminate all thoughts or emotions, but to develop a healthier relationship with them. Through consistent practice and dedication, you can transform overthinking into mindful awareness, leading to a more serene and balanced life. Keep persevering on this path, knowing that each moment of mindfulness brings you closer to inner freedom and genuine happiness. To keep expanding your spiritual awareness, click one of the videos on screen now.